is today's reading. It is from Joshua chapter 3. The Israelites cross the Jordan. Early the next morning, Joshua and all the Israelites left Acacia Grove and arrived at the banks of the Jordan River, where they camped before crossing. 3 days later, the Israelite officers went through the camp, giving these instructions to the people. When you see the Levitical priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God, move out from your positions and follow them. Since you have never travelled this way before, they will guide you. Stay about half a mile behind them, keeping a clear distance between you and the Ark. Make sure you don't come any closer. Then Joshua told the people, "Purify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do great wonders among you." In the morning, Joshua said to the priests, "Lift up the Ark of the Covenant and lead the people across the river." And so they started out and went ahead of the people. The Lord told Joshua, "Today I will begin to make you a great leader in the eyes of all Israelites. They will know that I am with you just as I was with Moses. Give this command to the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant. When you reach the banks of the Jordan River, take a few steps into the river and stop there." So Joshua told the Israelites, "Come and listen to what the Lord your God says. Today you will know that the living God is among you. He will surely drive out the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites ahead of you. Look, the Ark of the Covenant, which belongs to the Lord of the whole earth, will lead you across the Jordan River. Now choose 12 men, one from each of the tribes of Israel. The priests will carry the Ark of the Lord of all the earth. As soon as their feet touch the water, the flow of water will be cut off upstream, and the river will stand up like a wall." So the people left their camp to cross the Jordan, and the priests who were carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. It was the harvest season, and the Jordan was overflowing its banks. But as soon as the feet of the priests who were carrying the ark touched the water at the river's edge, the water above that point began backing up a great distance away at a town called Adam, which is near Zaithan. And the water below that point followed on to the Dead Sea, until the riverbed was dry. Then all the people crossed over near the town of Jericho. Meanwhile, the priests who were carrying the Ark of the Lord's Covenant stood on dry ground in the middle of the riverbed as people passed by. They waited there until the whole nation of Israel had crossed the Jordan to dry ground.
Right, so thank you so much for the reading, bless you. And today we're looking at Joshua chapter 3. Now, the reason this is a key point is because this is when the children of Israel moved from the wilderness experience to moving in to get ready to go into the promised land. And there's a part of the Old Testament that there are parallels in the big picture of the Old Testament to our lives. And in our lives, we get rescued from Egypt, we get rescued from the world, and then there's an experience of, if you like, being sorted out. And then there can be the experience of actually moving into the promised land, if you like, possessing all the stuff that God would have us to possess. And for different people, it can take a different amount of time. Some people rescued from the world, literally, bash, bish, bash, bosh, and they're actually living the new life. For others, we need sort of battling with I want to still be in the flesh, I still want to do that. So we get taken through the wilderness by the Lord, and now we've got a chance to go to the promised land. And when we read in this, you've got this wonderful bit where the Lord your God is telling them to move out. And basically, He's going to show them how to do it. Now, we can have this in our lives. We want how to do it, but also involved in here is the, if you like, getting the priests involved, getting the worship right, getting the fact that God is God. And so often as Christians, we can just want to jump to the next place. We want, like, the new life. We want the things to be all fit in place, but we don't, if you like, allow God to do His things in His way and His time. And this is throughout the Old Testament. You'll find this again and again. The people who rush to do the things of God, even when they're the right things of God, end up in more trouble. And those that wait and are careful to do all that the Lord commands. If you like, it's so easy to become fast and loose about how we operate in church life, how we operate in Bible studies, how we operate now, as if it doesn't matter as long as we're getting in the promised land. But here, Joshua tells what's going to happen, how things are going to be done. And I love it in verse 7. Today I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of Israel, so that you may know that I am with you as I was with Moses. And so here we find, Joshua himself also being part of God's plan of the way Joshua will be developed. I mean, he could just say, look, I'm the Moses, he's number 2. You've got to do what you tell me because I'm the one. But no, Joshua also, in a mirror way as his children of Israel, he also has to learn to wait for God's time, to allow God to raise him up. We go back to Abraham. Abraham looked down, it says, when Lot chose all the good land, Abraham stayed down, and God says, lift up your eyes. And we want to be the sort of people where it's God that says, lift up your eyes and do this. Not the sort of people that we're already grasping for the next part of our career, our next part of our life, even if it's the things of God. We want to be the people that God lifts up. And so we find the children of Israel, and we found Moses, that God is saying, come on, this is the way I want you to walk. This is the way I want you to live. And they did it. And because they did it, they entered the promised land. And because they did it in God's way, they were reminded about how God had been with them. If you like, He was already preparing them for the next stage. If they'd rushed in, they wouldn't have been ready for it. And in our lives, if we rush in, we can end up not being ready for the next stage, even if it's something that God wants. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And we hope you'll be able to join us again tomorrow.